What's going on, everyone? So, Scream 7 is supposed to be very Sidney and Gale focused. We'll see how much is it focused. Are they like in 90% of the movie, or is it kind of because early kind of rumors before filming and everything like that was that there would be kind of like a 50-50 split, right? You'd have like 50% Gale and Sidney, 50% kind of the new cast. I still lean towards that being the case. Obviously, we don't know either way. And like the title of the video says, spoilers, but this isn't a spoiler. Like, I'm gonna get to the spoiler here in a moment, but whatever the minutes are, or the kind of role that both Sidney and Gale play in the upcoming Scream movie, I am very curious to see how like the Ghostface and how much they are utilized. Are they kind of like the driving force, the catalyst to take on Ghostface, or are they kind of like supporting characters for the new characters that they're trying to build and grow? Which I hope that they don't have poor performances for Sidney and Gale. It's something that I really have concerns with, but we'll see. Time will tell in that regard. But getting into the spoilers, which, by the way, I'm going to talk potential spoiler. Obviously, we don't know. Nothing's confirmed in concrete until it's confirmed in concrete. But it is from Daniel Rickman, which he's been very spot on. So now's your chance if you wanted to go. 3, 2, 1. All right. So the big question when it comes to Sidney and Gale and how are they, like, what is Ghostface going to look like? There were rumors, again, that came out from Daniel Rickman, potential spoilers, that there are going to be more than 2 Ghostface, that going to be essentially 3 or more. Something that I've talked about very heavily honestly, dating back to Scream 5, but something that I've talked about very heavily is the potential of a cult of Ghostface, right? Having a cult that Sidney and Gale really have to operate. Supposedly, this Scream is supposed to launch a new trilogy. Supposedly, Scream 8 has already been greenlit. And if that's the case, then it would make sense to set up and establish this kind of grandiose Ghostface group that, Sidney and Gale are going to have to face over the next, 3 films, right? Because if you're really planning on doing this trilogy, you got to imagine that you're going to have some type of setup that's going to lead and bleed into the next film. And a cult element is something that I've said they've already laid the foundation for. They've already made between the Dreaded thread, and you've seen all the people kind of following Richie, like Jason and Greg. And I mean, even Kirby talked about how, there's all these Ghostface all over the place and stuff. Like, it's not just Sidney and Gale that get attacked, or Sam and Tara that get attacked. They're all over the place. Well, according to Daniel Rickman, Sidney and Gale may end up facing a type of Ghostface cult, that the cult element is probably going to be involved. Also, this is something that Kevin Williamson has wanted to do dating back to Scream 3, right? Like, if you've ever seen the show The Following, that was the original Scream 3 story, right? That was originally supposed to be about Stu, and, you had all these college kids or high school kids. No, it was college kids, something like that. College or high school kids that were all kind of playing dead and basically pulling a Quinn, and ultimately were revealed at the end to be a part of it. That it was all just like this one big mass cult following type thing, and Stu was going to be at the helm. Stu was going to be the lead. So there's that potential that they kind of bring that back, that they kind of go that direction. So I don't rule out or doubt this. And I mean, I made like 3 or 4 videos recently on the potential of a cult element, because it is something that I can absolutely see them doing. And as soon as they, the rumors came out that this was going to be a trilogy, I was like, okay, that makes the most sense to just go the cult element, right? And that is something that you're seeing. It's kind of like, okay, well, if that's the route they're going to go, like, I buy it, right? Like, that's why I think that this rumor is probably accurate. Now, I don't want it to be, and I've said this before, I don't want it to be a traditional cult in the sense of, like, they're all praying to a ghost face deity and sacrificing each other and stuff. Like, I don't want anything crazy, like what you envision a cult doing, right? I want it to be more of like a club, right? Like, where it's just like all these crazy people all working together through the Ethernet, and, and working hard to just try to help each other and come up with Ghostface games and talk about kills and stuff, and kind of have like this dark web element to it, where you have all these people that are all like-minded, right? I mean, it's how Richie met Amber, was on the forums, right? So to me, it's like you could keep it modern, right? Then the new age cult is, the internet and these forums and influencers and stuff like that, right? Like if you could kind of tie that into like the social commentary of Scream, I think that could go a long way, and you could really kind of set up and establish a story here, right? To me, I think I'm all for the Ghostface cult route, but I also think that you have to do it in a proper manner, right? Like I don't want it to be something where like 7 or 8 Ghostface are in this movie, right? Like, and now you're following along. It's just, it gets too convoluted, right? Like I'm all for if there's like, say 3 to 5, but you really only get the reveal of like 3, and you're kind of, again, this is like the setup and establishment film, right? So like I would love kind of like the Halloween trilogy, the recent Halloween trilogy. Obviously that wasn't a cult sense, but more in the sense of like you had the setup and foundation film, right? Then you followed that up with just the like things are going off the rails film, and then you had the conclusion film. I'd like something like that for this Scream trilogy, right? Where this is the setup and establishment film. You think it's just a normal run-of-the-mill Ghostface. Sidney and Gale are dealing with the run-of-the-mill Ghostface. Turns out, no, this is just the beginning, right? Oh, you think this is something? Oh, just wait, right? And then you have the new Scream movie where it's just a massacre, and Ghostface is killing a bunch of people. Maybe you even kill like a Gale or something like that to really kind of set the tone and establish like, hey, this is very different now, right? Maybe you even leave it on a cliffhanger that Sidney's dead, and we're all speculating. And then you get that in-game movie where like all the Ghostface, you're trying to take down the cult, you got to take down the leader, all that stuff, shut down the dreaded threat, right? Like you could do some creative things in that regard, in that way. So to me, I think that would be something that could be intriguing. That is something that could really kind of tie in and make some sense. But I don't want it to be, like I said, where they're all meeting every Wednesday and seeing, doing like Ghostface prayers and stuff. Like, I want it to be more, I said, a modern kind of club route, where it's almost like a secret society, right? Secret Ghostface society. And the way you get in is you have to, right? So like, look at Jason and Greg, like how they had their kill, right? And killed Samara Weaving's character. Right? Well, maybe you had to do that. You had to get your first kill under, right? That was one of the things that Jason Greg talked about, right? Like you had to did you get your first kill, right? Like, did you do that? Because they were kind of working themselves up. Maybe that's the way you get into the cult, right? You have to kill and take out somebody, right? And when you do that, then now you're a part of the cult, right? And maybe these ones, the ones that we're going up and facing in this upcoming Scream, maybe you're even going the route where they're trying to make their kill Sidney Prescott and her family, and it's like, now we don't want to just kill anybody to get in. We want to be the man, right? Like we want to be the guy, right? Like we want to be the one that's that's praised because we're the first Ghostface that killed Sidney, right? Like, and you have this simple explanation, and it's not some like crazy convoluted mess, right? Like that's what I kind of want to see. I don't want it to be something where it's just like, all right, like, here we go, the Ghostface cult, and like I feel like you have an opportunity to do something really cool here, but I also feel like you have the opportunity to really botch this and have this be a real disappointment. And I don't want to see this be a disappointment. I want to see this be something where it really, like, something you can really lean into, and it's like, oh man, that was really good. That they did a great job in kind of portraying that and getting that through. But overall, I think if you're gonna go the cult route, fine. If you're gonna have multiple kills, I don't want to have like 7, 8 reveals, right? Like it's just like, because at some point it kind of loses its meaning, kind of loses its luster a little bit. I'd like it to be reasonable, where it's like, okay, here's 3 killers that get revealed, or maybe you have an early reveal and then 3 killers at the end that get revealed, something like that. Sure, there you go, there you have it, and then that leads into the next film, right? and maybe there's one or two killers that you see at the end that it's like, oh no, yeah, this is just the beginning type thing. Like, that's kind of how I would prefer to approach it, personally. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Hey Phil, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you think, like, yeah, I don't want the you don't want the no traditional sense of a cult, or do you think no, like, that'd be great, you could do the traditional sense? Do you even want a Ghostface cult? Right? Again, I kind of feel like cult is the wrong word. Like, I really want, like I said, a group, like a secret society, a club, right? Like something like that, right? Like, I want something where they're all kind of just like a bunch of crazy people that are willing to go to the extremes, right? That all want to, like, fulfill this destiny that they believe in or whatever, right? You just have, like, craziness, right? Can't explain crazy. And I like that. I like the idea and the element of, like, just pure insanity, right? And just have these, like, brutal, intense Ghostface people that are just, like, completely deranged and just want to, like, have, like, some just, like, brutal kills and, recording it and sharing it with the group and stuff. And they all have, like, cams and stuff, or kind of have, like, this dark web element to it. A lot of just, like, really creative things, I think, that you could potentially do and get away with in this upcoming Scream movie. But anyway, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.